Welcome back. Breaking news out of the Middle East. You are looking at a live picture here of Gaza City, where smoke is filling the air. President Biden, meanwhile, will be making a high-stakes trip to Israel. He'll leave for Israel tomorrow. He will meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu before traveling to Jordan, where then he will meet the country's king. And then he'll meet Egypt's president and the Palestinian Authority president as well. Meanwhile, Iran is warning of a possible preemptive action against Israel by the resistance front as Israel prepares for a ground offensive on the Gaza Strip in retaliation for the attacks. Joining me right now is Tennessee Senator, member of the Senate Judiciary and Veterans Affairs Committees, Marsha Blackburn. Senator, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here. How would you characterize the war today?
What we are seeing is a very tense situation. We're watching very closely what is happening. And Maria, it is so imperative that we stand with Israel and that Israel have the ability to defend themselves. This was an unprovoked attack. Hamas has planned this, they executed it, and now they're beginning to say, oh, you can't come and try to seek retaliation. You can't come back at us. And they're trying to go for a ceasefire. And when you look at the dead Americans, the dead Israelis, when you look at what has happened with hostages, some American citizens that have been taken, it is imperative that Israel be able to defend their people and to defend their country.
Yeah, it's incredible. We knew that this was going to happen, and this is exactly the way it's playing out. Now that Israel is getting ready for the offensive, the calls for ceasefire are rising. Senator, I want you to comment a bit on what you're hearing out of this administration in terms of its response, because they've been very reluctant to connect the dots to Iran. I spoke with former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo over the weekend about this. Here's this former secretary on that. Watch.
The risk is greater today than it was even 8 days ago that we'll see escalation, in large part because the context that was set by the Biden administration creates an incredible conundrum, and when they can't simply acknowledge that this is Iran as the correct address to solve this problem. Second, we know that the Ayatollah has been planning this effort. I saw today reporting that Qasem Soleimani, the man that we actually took off the playing field, was involved in planning this operation back in 2019 and 2020. And yet the administration still says there's no direct evidence. We know who did this. This was Iran. The response must be against Iran.
Senator, you're calling on President Biden to remove Jake Sullivan as National Security Advisor. You say Sullivan has routinely misled the entire government about the status of security threats across the world. And you point out remarks that he made about the Middle East just 8 days before the Hamas attack on Israel. Here's Sullivan back in September. Well, listen to this.
The Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. Now, challenges remain. Iran's nuclear weapons program, the tensions between Israelis and Palestinians, but the amount of time that I have to spend on crisis and conflict in the Middle East today compared to any of my predecessors going back to 9/11 is significantly reduced.
This from the guy who worked with Hillary Clinton to push this idea that Trump colluded with Russia, Senator. You also say he's been dead wrong on how to engage with Iran since day one. Tell us.
Absolutely. Going back to the 2015 Iran nuclear deal and then this latest hostage exchange and the $6 billion. Maria, he is wrong on all of these accounts. And it is not something that benefits the country, our citizens, and our allies. When you look at the fact that the $6 billion was released, and this is why I have called, and 19 Republican senators have joined me in calling for this money to be refrozen and Iran to never get their hands on this money. The Ayatollah has praised this attack by Hamas. We also know that President Trump cut the aid to the UN Relief and Work Agency for Palestinian refugees. He cut it. Joe Biden, since he went into office, has put $730 million into that agency. They routinely employ people affiliated with Hamas. We know that Hamas uses these agency facilities to store some of their weapons. Maria, these are people that are taking aid money. They're using it to come and attack Israel. Americans have lost their lives. We need to have people that are clear-eyed about what is going on with Iran. They're the largest state sponsor of terrorism. They provide most of the budget for Hamas and Hezbollah. So let's be clear-eyed about this.
Yeah, and the other big story is that Biden had a chief negotiator in the Iran nuclear deal named Robert Malley. Right? So Robert Malley apparently facilitated the penetration of an Iranian spy ring into the leading areas of national security in the U.S. government. He was a very close friend of Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. I've got a picture here that shows Anthony Blinken and Rob Malley in drama club together at Harvard University. Is this why they're afraid to blame Iran? Because they're just too embedded with people who are sympathetic to Iran?
They have approached this as we can appease our enemies. We cannot appease our enemies. And this confused and muddled foreign policy of this administration, where our allies do not know if we're going to stick with them, and our enemies do not fear us because we do have this appeasement strategy coming out of this administration, it is making the world a less safe place. And to say Iran is not involved with this when you know that Iran has been supplying money, training, and supplies to Hamas, to Hezbollah. Their number one goal is to rid the earth of Israel, and Iran shares that goal with them. This should cause each of us concern. When you look at the open border and the terrorists, 30 Iranians coming in, so far this month, 100 Russians, 2,000 Chinese.
That's right.
Think about what is happening and the danger on our homeland, to our citizens. It is why it is imperative that we stand with Israel, that we secure this border, and that we be resolute in how we're going to protect the United States of America.
Yeah, we're looking at the apprehensions of special interest aliens right now on the screen. 6,000 from Afghanistan, 30,000 from Turkey, 15,000 from Mauritania. Border sources told Fox more than 30 Iranians have been apprehended. Just in the first 2 weeks of the fiscal year 2024, 2 of whom appear on the terrorist screening database. So clearly the terrorists are not stupid. They're using the wide open border to get into America. Meanwhile, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is demanding that the administration deport all foreign nationals who've expressed support for Hamas, including any student, if that student is on a student visa. Senator, do you agree with that?
I do agree with that, and I know Senator Rubio's bill, which I'm a co-sponsor of, is going to be filed today that would actually call for a vote on this. We should have a vote on this. We should know who is going to stand with our freedom and our sovereignty and agree to deport any of these individuals who stand with and back Hamas and these terrorist organizations.
Well, I mean, it's just incredible to me how supportive this administration has been to our adversaries, if not worse. I mean, look, I know that this administration is not America first. That would be, make America great, and that would be, Trump's purview. Right. But, I mean, did we think that they were going to do China first, Iran first? I mean, this is outrageous. The appeasement that we're talking about since day one, relaxing sanctions on oil so that Iran could get empowered with all that oil revenue.
Right, and that is another of Jake Sullivan's move, not enforcing the sanction, but relaxing the sanctions. And then Iran goes from producing a few hundred barrels a day to 3 million barrels a day. Now think about this, and China and Russia are the #1 customers there. They are building their stockpiles, and what has happened here? President Biden pulled half of our strategic petroleum reserve out before the midterm elections so that the price of a gallon of gas at the pump would go down. Maria, what we have to do is think about our country and our citizens first. We need to think about securing our country. You're not going to do that if you've got an open southern border, and you're not going to have your allies stay with you if you're not going to support Israel. People already look at what happened in Afghanistan. Jake Sullivan was a part of that.
Yeah.
That miserable withdrawal that is there. As I said, the 2015 JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, all of these things make our country less safe. They embolden our enemies, and they embolden these terrorist organizations that would seek to destroy us. They go out, they chant death to America, they chant death to Israel. It's time for people to wake up and say, we are going to stand with Israel, and we are going to make certain we protect this great nation.
Do you have any idea why the administration is not doing that?
Go ask them.
Okay.
It is just perplexing to
it
see
is.
the appeasement that they practice and how it does not serve us, our freedom, free people, free markets around the globe.
Yeah, well, it actually impacts us very negatively, not just not
Correct.
serving us. I mean, this is serious,
right.
dangerous times right now. Senator, we so appreciate your leadership. Thank you.
You got it.
All right, Marsha Blackburn joining us this morning.